हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग, सत श्री अकाल, प्रणाम, आदाब, इन विच लैंग्वेज यू आर कनेक्टेड विथ मी। आज हम लोग लर्निंग और टीचिंग के एक टॉपिक पढ़ेंगे। लर्निंग और टीचिंग का एक टॉपिक पढ़ेंगे, लर्निंग। व्हाट इज़ लर्निंग? व्हाट इज़ द डेफिनेशन ऑफ लर्निंग? व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ लर्निंग? और फैक्टर अफेक्टिंग लर्निंग, नेचर ऑफ लर्निंग, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ लर्निंग, ये सारा चीज़ हम लोग आज अच्छी तरीके से इसमें देखेंगे। इसी के साथ हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं। What are the various factor which affects learning? Describe every type of factor in details. Every person who takes birth have some unique or individual characters. An individual begins to learn soon after his birth and goes on learning throughout his lifetime. An infant is quite helpless at birth because he depends on others, such as the process of learning goes from womb to tomb. Learning is an inborn virtue of a creature. Learning is a natural phenomenon which is natural to all organisms, including both humans and animals. It affects a child's development. Now we will read the meaning of learning. The term learning is originated from the Old English word learnian, which is translated as to get knowledge or to think about. Now, the indeed people learn by getting new knowledge, and when they gain insights from thinking about something. Especially, learning is the acquisition of new information or the modification of existing knowledge, preferences, expertise, and other aspects of behavior. Learning includes all activities which affect children. Along with the growing process, the mental development of the child occurs. Now, the definition of learning, Thorndike says that learning is selecting the appropriate response and connecting it with stimulus. Skinner says learning is a process of progressive behavior adaptation. Crow and Crow says learning is the learning in the acquisition of habits, knowledge, and attitudes. Crowback says learning is shown by a change in behavior as a result of experience. Now, the nature of learning, that is creative, active process, not a reflex action, productivity, positive and negative, mental process based on human nature, relationship between stimulus and responses. Now, the characteristics of learning. Characteristics of learning is universal, lifelong, change in behavior, purposive, discovery, activeness, adjustment, experience. Now, the types of learning. According to principle of learning, psychologists categorized learning. They are in three parts: sensory motor learning, intellectual learning. Sensory motor learning, that is cycling, swimming, climbing, typing, painting. And in motor learning, control on our body parts like control on our hands, control on our heads, control on our legs. Intellectual learning, it has four parts. Perceptual learning, with the help of sensory motor nerves they able to know what is happening at perceptual. Example, fire burns our body part. Conceptual learning, that is reasoning, thinking, imagine. Now, the associative learning, remembering and stabilizing relationship, that is called associative learning. And what is and appreciational learning, understanding the merits and demerits, goodness and badness, beauty, etc., that is called appreciational learning. Now, the factor affecting learning. Learning is lifetime process in which we learn from womb to tomb. Some factor affecting learning are factors related to learner, factors related to teacher, factors related to subject matter, factors related to environment. Now, the first we will discuss that factor related to learner, that is practice, intelligence, will to learn, emotional condition, educational ability, learning method, philosophy of life, levels of aspiration, method of study, interest and aptitude, physical and mental health, training, maturation. And the second one is factor related to teacher. Factor related to teacher, first is discipline, teacher's relations with principal, knowledge of subject, physical and mental health, learning by doing, sex of teacher, status of a social, method of teaching, nature of management, timetable, will to teach, behavior of the teacher, lesson plan. Now the third one is factor related to subject matter. Social order to presentation of subject matter, nature of subject matter, purposeful of subject matter, size of subject matter, structure of subject matter, interesting subject matter, use of audio visual aids, example related to life, difficulty level of different subjects, language. Now, the fourth one is factors related to environment, social and cultural environment, informal agencies of education, heredity, non formal agencies of education, physical environment, psychological environment, emotional environment, family environment. Now, the educational implication. Utility of learning should be discussed in the context of assumptions that knowledge, skills, and method of learning which learners use in the future and also applies to solve new problems. Learners always tries to learn new things and get experience. Through that experience, they bring changes in their behavior. It also helps in making a man. Now, the conclusion of learning is done by connections in the brain, memory traces, organized knowledge in the memory and the social environment. Learning is determined by self efficacy or their belief in their own abilities. We all learn different through unique learning styles, whether it be auditory or visual. Thank you. That's all.